What we have here is the 7th and final generation of the Toyota Celica, and like most specimens from this generation, it has been hideously mauled and abused. This one has damage on both sides of the body, caused by people who obtain their driver's license, but still don't know how to check for blind spots in a parking lot. It has rust spots on it, and the paint is fading away on the back. It goes to show how people view this car, unfortunately as a tool to be used and ultimately disposed of and forgotten.
Unfortunately, things don't get much better on the inside. It's a small car, which means there's a very cramped cabin. I'm 5'10", and if you haven't noticed, I have a gut similar to the size of Notorious Big. So if you have a gut like the size of Notorious Big, or hips like a Kardashian, you may have trouble fitting inside of this car.
So getting in isn't exactly glamorous.
I'm afraid things aren't much better when you do finally get yourself inside the cockpit of the 7th generation Celica. Things are a little bit cramped. The transmission tunnel rides right next to your right leg, and it starts to feel like it's caught on fire. Not to mention, you probably only want to bring one passenger with you due to the fact that the back seats are extremely tiny. The only way you're going to fit people inside is if they're willing to have all of their limbs chopped off. Now once you actually get moving, I suppose things aren't all that bad in here. I mean, I've got a decent amount of air conditioning, and even though a lot of the dashboard is made of that cheap, crusty plastic that everyone knows of from the early 2000s, I do have leather armrests and full leather seats all around, which makes it a pretty decent place to be. However, the quality isn't the best. I mean, the steering wheel, the leather's peeling off and it's falling apart. Not to mention, I had to throw a bolt back on underneath my steering wheel a couple of days ago due to the vibrations of the vehicle making it fall out of place. The ride on this car is extraordinarily stiff, like that. And every time you go over a bump, you can feel it ride all the way up your spine. So the exterior quality is questionable. The interior quality is terrible. And when you're driving at low speeds, the ride is harsh and stiff enough to shatter your spine. So at slow speeds, this car is terrible. But what about if you drive it fast?
Easy to hear that this is not the standard Celica GT, but the top-of-the-line Toyota Celica GTS. What that means is that the car comes equipped with a 1.8-liter inline-4 engine co-developed with Yamaha that makes 180 horsepower and 133 pound-foot of torque. The engine utilizes both valve lift technology and variable valve timing similar to Honda's VTEC engines. You really do have to work for all of that power in this engine, as max torque does not come until 6,800 RPMs and max horsepower does not come until 7,600. According to a Motor Trend article from back in May of 2000, the Celica will get you to 60 miles an hour with a standstill in 6.6 seconds. It sounds great too, which is a good thing because it means when you are inevitably being tailgated by your crazy ex, for example, on the street, you now have a good enough reason to downshift into second and accelerate.
It says, come on, you gotta go faster than that, even though you want to floor it.
But wait, you might say, what if I'm flooring it and giving it all I got and my crazy ex is still tailgating me because they have a million gajillion horsepower muscle car? It's a good thing then that the gearheads who designed the Celica knew a thing or two about sports cars, because the Celica has an extremely stiff chassis and a quick steering rack, which means that when you turn it with your finger, you have enough force to rotate the entire planet. Not only is the steering quick, but it is also highly precise, and when you combine that with the stiff springs and the stiff chassis, it means the Celica will go in any direction you ask it to without hesitation. The cramped size of the cabin also plays into the handling. The reason it is cramped is so that the roof line could be kept low and the seating position pushed closer to the ground, which gives the 7th generation Celica a low center of gravity. To top it all off, the Celica's handling is helped by a dainty feather-light curb weight of 2,580 pounds. It's just a shame that when you go around the corner, the seats aren't supported enough to keep your butt and your back in place.
So to answer the question as to whether you can enjoy a beat-up old Celica like the one shown in the film, the answer is yes. You can buy a beat-up one probably for about $1,000, but if you save about $3,000 and $5,000, you can find a clean, good one. And when you consider the amount of performance you get for the money, it's a really good deal. It's just a shame that Toyota didn't choose to capitalize on the Celica nameplate and improve the car over the years, like Honda did with its Civic Si models and RSX Type S. Unfortunately, the car was killed off in 2006, and in its place, all we had from Toyota was the dreadful first generation trash that is the Scion TC. But it seems, at least nowadays, Toyota's gotten back into their performance car game.